Guys, and welcome back to PowerPoint 257 C++ tutorial series. In this video, we're going to start getting into loops. We're going to cover the while loop today, and this is when programming starts to get very dynamic and a lot more powerful. You got to be careful with while loops because if you make an infinite loop, especially C++, how fast it runs, that can actually your computer could be frozen for a good minute. But they're also very important and essential in upper level programming as well as basic programming. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to be covering the while loop today, right? And the syntax for that is going to be while, parentheses for your condition, and then these brackets, right? Just like an if statement or an else if. So the condition is going to go in these parentheses, and then whatever code you want to execute when this condition is true is going to take place inside these brackets, right? So the thing about while loops are loops that are, it's going to keep executing, whatever you have here is going to keep executing until this condition is false. And so I'll show you what I mean, right? So let's say, let's pretend we're working for NASA, right? We want to launch a rocket. Okay, so let's set a variable int x is equal to 5. We want to make an accurate countdown, right? We want to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then type liftoff. So what we can do, we can say x while x is not equal to 0, we're going to print out x, and then we're going to decrement it. Remember from one of our previous videos? We're going to decrement it. In this case, the prefix versus postfix doesn't really matter too much because by the time we make our way up to the loop again, it's going to have decremented. So actually, I'm just going to clean this up and because I want to go if x is equal to 1 because I want to make commas actually between them. So I want to go 5, 4, 3, but I don't want to make a comma after the 1. So I'm going to go if x is equal to 1, cout x, just x, and then I'm going to go else I want to cout x, but then I want to also follow it up with a comma, right? And so then after this, I'm going to decrement x, and then so we're going to go 5, then it's going to decrement to 4, and then it's going to decrement to 3, then to 2, and then to 1, and then once the value reaches 1, we're going to get here, and we're going to decrement it, and it's now at this point it's going to be equal to 0. So when it comes back to the top of this loop, this statement only runs if x is not equal to 0, but x will be equal to 0. So this statement or this loop is no longer gonna run, and so then it's just gonna, once we're outside of that loop, we can print out. Let's print out liftoff. Cool. Okay, so now let's run this. Hopefully no syntax errors. My bad. Yep, semicolon. My bad. Okay, 5, 4, 3. If x is equal to, oh, I didn't space this. I should have put a space at least. Sorry. Sometimes you try to get too smart, man. And okay, cool. Now you see. Now you see what happens. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Okay, cool. So that's just a brief intro to while loops. I'll just give you one more example before we go. One of my previous videos, we worked with the random function. So let's just include that really quick. Oh, actually, because this is really what I wanted to get to. It's perfectly valid. Remember how we talked about Boolean variables? Bool is equal to, we can set that equal to true, right? Or we could, vice versa, we could set it equal to false. So similar thing can happen with this condition actually right here. We can set, this is perfectly valid to set this equal to true. Now, like I said, C++ runs really fast, and if you set this to true and don't ever put a break statement or anything to break out of this loop is just going to run infinitely, and that could cause you some problems. So let's say while this is true, right? So it's always going to be true because we're declaring it true. We're going to say int x is equal to, first thing first, I'm going to include srand time and then null up at the top right here. And so then I'm going to say x is equal to rand mod, let's say 5. So this is actually going to give us the range from 0 to 4. So, and then we're gonna print out x, and then we're gonna end the line. But if x, say, is equal to 2, we're gonna break out of this loop. And so this is the syntax of how you want to break out of a loop. Just break semicolon. Okay, so if this is 0, 1, 3, or 4, it's going to print out the value of x and it's going to run again. But whenever we generate a random number and it's equal to 2, then we're gonna print that out and we're gonna break. So let's see what happens when we run this. Sorry guys, my semicolons are not feeling it today. 0, 2. Okay, so see what happens. So we printed out the first value that this random number generated was 0, right? And then it looped again. Then it was equal to 2, and then all of a sudden, oh, now it's equal to 2. We break out of that. Okay, so we run it again. Sorry. Compiler throwing weird behaviors right now. Okay, there we go. 0, 3, 2. So first time 0, second time through 3, then it was 2, and then it broke out of it. Okay, so that was just whoa. So we got a lot of numbers this time. See, it just. But notice how none of these were 2. This loop kept. This is actually a good example because you can see that this loop, since we declared it true, kept running until it hit our condition in which we broke out of it. So that's a brief intro to while loops, how to use them, and how to break out of them as well. Because if we never put this break statement right, this thing would just be running literally just infinitely, and that could it might freeze up our computer. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep programming, keep getting better, keep having fun, and until next time, guys. Peace.